Thank you. So I get to introduce Lisa Badner. Lisa's writing has appeared in the New Ohio Review, Rattle, Tri-Quarterly, Ping Pong, Pank, Mudlark, 14 Hills, New World Writing, the Mom Egg Review, and the Satirist. Her poem, This Is Not an Obituary, received special mention in Pushcart 2018. Lisa's full-length poetry collection called Fruitcake is forthcoming from Unsolicited Press. She coordinates the school's tutorial program and is a longtime member of the New York City Masterclass. Yay, Lisa!
Okay, I'm going to start with the poem Fruitcake, which is the title of the book that's supposed to come out when I'm about 1,000 years old. Okay. Fruitcake. My father makes macaroons for a living. They are a popular product and quite healthy. The macaroons are named for my sister, Jenny. Jenny's, they are called. Jenny's macaroons. My father made a Lisa fruitcake once, shrink-wrapped in a drab beige box with gray lettering. Small pieces of shriveled raisins, candied dates, nuts, some too hard to chew. It was dry, fell apart like sawdust, one customer wrote, embarrassed me in front of my guests. The Lisa fruitcake never made it into a trade show or an ad. Rejected unanimously by the distributors, the Lisa fruitcake was a resounding failure. So the next couple of poems are actually a work in progress, which is not a usual thing that I do at these readings, but I'm going out on a limb here. So this is, it starts with, they're all kind of connected. Wrong kind of girl. You were not the girl your mother wanted. Refused to wear dresses, changed your name to Matthew for a while, even tried to pee standing up. But now, 40 plus years later, you get your toes painted at the salon every month. This confuses you. You took off your shirt. Sitting on a big square stone at recess, it was hot. You looked down, your chest suddenly not the same flat board. You saw something bulging through your skin. You felt stiff, sick. The other kids were staring. Your son is now that age. You look at his body, listen to his deepening voice, and remember sitting alone on that stone. New baby sister. You are 8 years old, in the Ford station wagon, retrieving your mother and new baby sister from the Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. Your grandmother next to you in the back, your mother in the front. The baby is crying. You are allowed to hold the baby. The baby stops crying. Everything is quiet until your mother screams, "Did you kill the baby?" Your father, one hand on the steering wheel, reaches back, pinches the baby's cheek until she wails. You don't think you wanted to kill the baby, at least not on that day. Emetophobia. You are terrified of throwing up, some kind of cruel, self-imposed metaphor, as if you knew you couldn't let anything out. But it's also an actual thing with a name, emetophobia. You threw up a few times as a kid, each time more horrifying than the last. An ultimate loss of control. You had to keep control of everything, to fool everyone. It was your poison to keep inside. In the 80s, you went to a phobia clinic. You argued with the phobia experts before storming out, shouting, "A behavioral thing won't work. It's not like an airplane or a spider. The evil is inside. It needs to come out. You just want to shit it out. That's all." Hop. You put on a feminine self, skirts, flats, long, long hair. You even walked with a little hop. That's what real girls do, hop. You were walking in the village. You felt something weird and slimy. It was a man's finger sliding up your ass. That'll show you. This is the last one in this series, and then I have a couple of more I'm going to read. This is called Detective Cagney. Every week, you and your housemates gathered to watch Cagney and Lacey, Sharon Gless, drunken Irish cop with a manly walk, no hop, and a New York drawl, no husband, the closest to a lesbian on TV. Those housemates all went straight, married men. Now there's the L word, but you have no one to watch it with. Okay. So this poem, not from that series, it's called Pig. And it starts with a quote by John Stuart Mill. It's kind of a famous quote. Better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. John Stuart Mill. Really? But the pig isn't bothered by her friend's pancreatic tumor, or war waging by an idiot despot, or a continent on fire. The pig savors the trans fats in her thin mint cookies. The pig doesn't ponder how one day, when the pig is long dead, her kid will have to decide whether to have a PSA test or to just go manual. As to the pig's aging parents, more grub, bigger sty. The pig always orders the foie gras. Okay, two more. This is called Distracted. Ideas, they appear, little chirps of irony, and quickly disappear. Laptop screen blank. Maybe I'm hungry. I will boil an egg. Protein is good for brain functions. I look at the dusty piles of books. Haven't gotten around to getting shelves, though I've lived here for a while now. I peruse the piles. Unread how-tos for parenting failures. Teach yourself ukulele. And then there's that book. I see my psychopharmacologist every year on East 87th Street for a few $250 minutes to renew my Zoloft for depression. Every year I tell him my ADD is getting worse. And every year I decline an additional script. How many pills can a liver take? And every year he tells me to read this book called Driven to Distraction. And every year I tell him I forgot. But last year I actually bought the book. And there it is, in the pile, collecting dust. And I still haven't read it. I get too distracted. Can't finish anything, especially not poems. Not even this poem. And what the hell is that noise in the kitchen? Oh, the egg. Okay. This is my last one, and it's called 50, which sadly I wrote quite a while ago. Okay, 50. 50 is when that box of tampons purchased 6 months ago is still full. When the AARP magazine makes for engaging bathroom reading, and an article like How to Survive Your First Heart Attack seems not so irrelevant. 50 is when you find yourself standing over an AC, even though outside it's -3. 50 is when the parents who had you young seem suddenly old and you realize you're not far behind. 50 is when you can't remember the last time you bought a new bra, not that you still bother to wear a bra. 50 is the new fat, when you are closer to century than fetus. 50 is when your kid calls you grams just to fuck with you. When the Benadryl in your cabinet expired 19 years ago. 50 is when your long-term relationship, which should have ended long ago, must dissolve now because you both realize there's so little time left. Thank you.